All right, here we are again, recording our show.
Nothing but worry.
That's right.
But is it a week to worry? Because we've reveled this week. We really have.
Well, there's always something to worry about.
That's-
But due to my newfound tranquility, I'm divesting myself of worry. You just deal with things one at a time. What are you poking me for?
See if I can get rid of your tranquility.
I see.
Evil woman.
Okay. Well, how's it going today?
I've had better days. My heart's acting up. How's your day?
Pretty good.
Glad the week's over, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been a really rough week.
You came home with some bruises this week and some crushed fingers and just worn out old man, aren't you?
Yeah. Usually, I usually sleep pretty well during the week, but then Friday morning, for some reason, I never can sleep properly. But I think I'm okay now. Sometimes you just get so worn out, so physically beaten up that it's hard to sleep.
I know that. Yeah.
But the whole thing with Kamala Harris seems to be going well.
Very well.
Trump seems to be terrified of her, and I don't think he's going to debate her. And I think it's possible that she may be able to goad him into it by calling him chicken over and over again.
He is a chicken shit.
But I hope she picks Tim. What is it? Tim Walz? What's his name?
Walz? The Wisconsin governor? Is that where he's from?
I don't know where he's from. Walz.
Walz, yeah.
Hope she picks him and not somebody.
Yes. Bashir and the other one from Pennsylvania have all really stepped in it when it came to the pro-Palestinian marches. And these are just college students doing what college students do, which is standing up for the oppressed minorities. And those two have absolutely stepped in it. And Wall's response was something to the effect of, these are young people, this is what they do, and they recognize that there are issues and problems that need to be addressed, and the administration needs to bring their policy around. So he was very even-keeled about that, but it's more than that. He is pro-union, and he is pro-privacy. And he's an interesting character. Of a teacher, football coach, small town, farm community, former National Guard, and he's had extensive government experience for the last 20 plus years. So
He's also the one that started the trend of calling the Republicans weird, which is going to work well because that irritates them.
yeah, it's a good word to use because it isn't anything that's attached to race or gender. It's attached to behavior and the type of things the way that they act, the way that the MAGA crowd acts is just weird. The responses of the politicians is weird. It is strange. It's not something that's normal it's not normal for people to be without empathy. It's not normal for people to be constantly disparaging others. And they need to be called out. And they need to also, in my opinion, start making people remember Trump's 4 years in office.
Yeah, the Trump's accomplishments in office boil down to basically one thing, and that's cutting taxes on the ultra wealthy, and that's supposed to just magically bring forth prosperity for all, and it doesn't.
No. What happened was the companies ended up getting this tax break, and what did they do with this newfound wealth? They ended up buying back their own stock, something that 30 years ago you couldn't do. But they basically, it ends up being artificially inflating the value of their own stock. And in doing this, it means that the CEOs, the execs who have these great pay packages that include stock, have their own wealth increase, their own golden parachutes, their own current wealth. And there was only one notable case of one company giving all of its employees a $1,000 bonus. It didn't trickle down.
Yeah. We have had over 40 years of attempts at making trickle-down economics work, and it doesn't work. I remember when Reagan was in office, and the teachers at our crazy school talking about, oh, trickle-down economics, this is going to be wonderful, this is going to, a rising tide floats all boats, and blah, 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 blah. You know, and it's just a bunch of bullshit.
The funniest thing that I've heard mentioned in stuff with the rising tide and trickle down is, but the yacht builders, the people who work on the docks at building these yachts, they're going to be rolling in the money because the rich will be able to buy extra homes and extra yachts and fancy cars and such. And where do the cars come from? Overseas.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think anything else. Just, I don't know.
You had a rough week at work.
Found out that the postmaster where I work is leaving. So he has no incentive to do anything to help us because he's a short timer. And so I have no faith that he's going to do anything.
Also, they were trying to call people in on their days off. Why?
Because we had nobody there. We don't have enough people.
Well,
You have to have, well,
people were out sick.
you have to, I'm sorry that this goes against the principle of maximizing profit by paring down expenses to the bone, but you have to have
Equipment.
redundancy built into the workforce because what if people are off?
Yeah. You tried to take a couple of days off and you couldn't. Because, was it 5-10 people had called out sick this week? And
I don't know if people had called in, but people were just out for various reasons. Or people, I looked in the book, the vacation book, and people already had things scheduled off.
But they said that there were people out with COVID again, too.
Yeah. I don't know if they actually have COVID or they just tested positive and they have to quarantine.
That means you have COVID, sweetie, if you test positive.
Yeah, but if you're asymptomatic, you know. I mean, I could test positive for COVID right now, but I don't feel anything.
Yeah, but you still may be a person who can pass it along. Okay?
Well, anyway. Like this morning, I was all by myself basically, and we had a really, it wasn't a crazy night, but I had to really throw myself into it to get everything done. And we all pulled together and we got it done, and we're getting near the end of the night, and an hour and 15 minutes before I go home, an Amazon 18-wheeler completely filled showed up, and basically had to start all over again. And oh Lord, the Amazon sends their mail in two different kinds of trucks. They send them in officially Amazon branded 18-wheelers, okay? And then they have a fleet of rental trucks, riders and whatever other, just makeshift array of fleet of trucks. The small trucks that don't have Amazon printed on the side, they bring their own pallet jack. But the official Amazon truck, they have to borrow our pallet jack. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Jeff Bezos can spring for a few thousand pallet jacks across the country, I think. Oh, Lord.
Well, it all has to do with maximizing what goes into the trucks. And as far as not having the smaller ones and having to rent out things, maintaining a fleet is something they don't want to do except bare bones, whatever they absolutely have to do. And so they bring in the extras, the rentals, when things pick up, like post-prime and school time and Christmas and crap.
But what if we told him, I'm sorry, we don't have a pallet jack to spare. We've only got two, and so-and-so's using one, and I've got the other one. I'm sorry.
And a couple of them are broken up there, right?
A lot of them are broken.
Yeah, there's going to reach a point. Hey, was it this week that they left the Amazon in front of the post office?
Oh, that's something. I meant to tell my sister about that today. It was last week.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. This Amazon guy, his truck broke down, so he had to borrow a truck. I think we mentioned this last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Had to drag all this mail through the lobby into the building. But, yeah, I meant to tell my sister about that. My sister, in 4 weeks, is getting married to a guy in Montana. She's driving out there, going through the ceremony, and then the two of them are going to drive back here, and the drive back will be their honeymoon, so to speak. And then they're going to have a second ceremony here, and then he's going to stay with her and my mother's place through the winter.
What's going on with his cattle? He has a herd of cattle.
I'm sure he has employees. I don't know. You can't handle a whole herd of cattle alone. But
just to go for 6 months of the year?
I don't know if it's going to be 6 months.
Yeah, they're going to overwinter here.
Well, that's not 6 months. That's 3.
Well, they're going to come back in August. And then to the end of the year and into...
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
February, March. I mean, Montana, they've got snow into March easily.
She's getting married in September.
She's getting married in August.
She's getting married in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks? It's less than that. Because I take care of your mother when she's in Montana.
She told me she's getting married in 4 weeks from some date.
So our vacation's coming up, and that's the middle of August. Then the following week, I take care of your mother while she's in Montana. Catherine's in Montana.
Okay, maybe I heard wrong.
And then they're getting married again in middle of November.
They're getting married again.
I know, another ceremony.
You know, they need to get married in all 50 states to make it legal. Plus all the, territorial possessions of the United States. Trying to think what else. If you haven't done so yet, go to my blog. It's lanceash.blogspot.com, because my online magazine is really taking off finally. I feel such a sense of satisfaction when I work on it, because I'm finally in the groove. Oh, sometimes you get in the groove and then you begin to think that the groove is a rut, and you get out for some reason and you can't get back into a groove again. It's strange. Oh dear. I can't believe Kimmel was off the whole summer with all these world-shaking events happening.
Must be nice to take a real vacation.
Yep. I was going to take you to Savannah for this week's or our week of vacation coming up, but it's too goddamn hot.
And there are very few hotel rooms worth a damn.
There
are a couple roach motels out near the airport, and we're not doing that.
What was that I called it? Bob's Fuck It and Truck It. That's kind of,
Truck it and fuck it.
Small little shitty hotels. Years ago, I took a trip to Key West, and on the way back, decided to go up US 1.
Oh,
and,
all the old motels.
On the border, on either side of the Florida-Georgia border for like 5-6 miles on one side and 5-6 miles on the other, is just an endless string of these one-story motels.
Run down as hell.
And it's just like a long, skinny building divided up into maybe 12 rooms. You have the manager's office on one end, and then there's 12 rooms or so.
They rent out places by the hour now, those kind of places, because there's such dumps.
But there were so many, and I've
Did you guys stop there at one of those dumps?
no, but I have stayed in that kind of hotel maybe once or twice.
Oh, what was the Bulldog Inn on the Commerce Highway?
Bulldog Inn was a decent hotel for being an independent.
A couple of years ago, they turned it into an art show. People would rent out the rooms for a week, and artists would go and display all their art in the room, and they would gather together, like all the weavers would go in one room, and all the ceramicists in another couple of rooms.
Yeah, I wish I had like a space in town where I could do that. A lot of the big name artists, they have their own galleries, have their own museums. Frank Frazetta has his own museum.
What I always thought would be cool would be to have a working studio in one of the old rundown towns like Commerce, where there are these old shops. So you have your studio there in the old store, and then the front where the big display window is, you create a back to it, and you put a display, and then a doorbell, so ring or call for appointments, And then that place over in Commerce has the second story. You can live above it. That would be the ultimate artist studio.
There's a German artist named Wolfgang Petrick, and I saw a little. Well, I've seen pictures of his working space, and then I saw a video a couple of years ago of him at his studio. And I don't know, but it looked like he owned this entire building. It was like an old warehouse type building, all concrete. And he had just shit he was working on every single floor. And, and his work is just, he does painting and sculpture, and the sculpture is just collections of crap stuck together.
They did that slab of meat splayed out.
No, but I mean, several people have done that sort of thing.
No, you had one hanging at your old studio for a while.
Well, Bacon did a painting like that.
I can't remember Patrick's work.
It's like really, really grotesque. It's it's a little. I mean, I respect it, but at the same time, it's not something I would do. I don't do.
So beyond a slab of meat.
Yeah, I don't do creepy, sick shit. People with chicken feet and Oh dear me. Let's see where we're at here. A couple more minutes. We'll be at the end of the show. What happened today? I ran out today, went to the university library, parked across the street at the parking deck, and I thought the first 30 minutes were free, and after that it's $3. But no, apparently they have a minimum charge now of $1, so I had to pay $1 to park and run as fast as I can across the street to the library and run back.
I have to generate enough income to pay the slave wages to the peons over there. You know how many people over there that work at the lower levels are on food stamps and assistance and have to take the bus to work because they can't even afford the parking fees over there?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping I get to go back to work over there after I retire from the post office, because it was an easy job and it had decent benefits, and
It changed. It changed.
Plus, I could get my old library card privileges back, because I could check out as many books as I wanted to back in those days. Yeah. One of these days, I want to go to the library over there and have the freedom to spend 2 or 3 hours over there just poking around.
Then do it.
But it would have to be a nice, cool day, so that if I get bored, I can go outside and walk around and take photographs.
Oh, you could go over and grab a slice of pizza.
Yep.
Ooh, a calzone even better.
God. downtown. There's this place called Little Italy, and they have really good pizza, really good calzones.
We went there for our anniversary this year, didn't we? Went and grabbed a slice, and I had a couple of beers and you had a couple slices. I had one slice.
I don't even remember that. I mean, I remember us going, but I didn't know if it was for our anniversary.
It was.
I have vacation coming up in week after next, and we're going to try some different restaurants that we haven't tried before. There's a ramen place downtown, a little pricey, but we might give that a shot.
Yeah, $17 for ramen and $5 for edamame pods and
We'll see.
then what? You don't want me to get appetizers?
You don't want me to get appetizers.
You don't want me to spend any extra money, do you?
If it was up to me, we'd be living on cheese and crackers and never leave the house. Is that what you think?
Pretty much know it. You're a cheap, miserly old bastard.
Thrifty. Thrifty is the word we're looking for here.
No, cheap, miserly old bastard.
Now, we're going to try some different places.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that place that was in the Doc Shays. Remember that place? That was decent.
They've now got Taqueria Tsunami there.
Oh, is that where that's at?
Yes, that's
Okay.
where they moved.
Is Mellow Mushroom still on the other side of the building?
I believe so, and they have a vegan pizza that I could try now that I've had to completely remove dairy from my diet.
I haven't been to Mellow Mushroom in a long time. I think back now, and there were so many restaurants I never got to try. I never got to try Steve Areno's. I never got to try Sons of Italy. There were a bunch that came and went. Because when I was a kid, those places were beer joints.
Oh, yeah, your father always thought, what if it's a beer joint?
A beer joint.
Good God. I remember meeting friends in college. They were from Wisconsin. And we would go out drinking and stuff. And one night, Lori and Sandy started talking about growing up in Wisconsin. And they said, yeah, we would go to the bar. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're kids. You're going to the bar. She goes, oh, yeah, we had, family bars that you bring your whole family in. And it was such a shocking concept to me that kids would go into the bar with their family. Remember John Boehner? Apparently he worked in his family's bar when he was growing up.
Yeah.
So it's a Southern Bible Belt thing about beer joints.
I think Athens has toned down a good bit, but back in the 80s, it was mega alcohol.
No, we are still
what's the
famous
word?
for it.
Saturnalia.
Bacchanalia. Well, we were the Playboy Party School for I don't know how many years running.
Well, they
And
legendarily,
now we're like
famously,
number 7.
every year Playboy would put out their top 10 party colleges, and at least one year
Sure.
they had a note saying we didn't include
yeah.
UGA on the list because we wanted to make it fair for everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that's about it for the show. So, anything you want to add?
No.
Go Kamala. Bye, everybody.